Obviously, you've reset the goals a few times during the project. Now, having done a low 10, you're aiming at the 9s. Once you get there, what are you thinking?
Well, I was supposed to stop at 11s.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. It went to 11s twice, and then it decided it wanted to run 10s.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in 10s, I think we went a couple of runs, it's gone down to 10-1.
Yeah.
So, but I figure 9 will be the, 9 somewhere will be the go, and I think a 9 and a V6 is not too bad.
Our cover car from issue 115 can run a lightning fast 10.1 second quarter mile time, yet it's still placid enough to drive on the street. The car is David Wilsig's ultra sleek and ultra fast twin turbo V6 VS Commodore, wearing the licence plates ITT 3.8 litre. Residing in Sydney, David and the V&E Rigoli prepared VS see regular drag strip action at the Western Sydney International Dragway, otherwise known as Wizard.
Well, it's a 95 VS with the live rear axle.
Yep.
Executive Commodore.
Yep.
Don't be fooled by the VS's slick and subtle exterior appearance. Beneath the fiberglass bonnet, complete with VZ Monaro scoops, hides a fire-breathing twin-turbo Ecotec power plant that produces a huge 500 rear-wheel horsepower and propels the car and driver down the standing quarter mile in just 10.1 seconds at a blistering 131 miles per hour. Thanks to a 50 horsepower shot of nitrous oxide off the line, ITT 3.8 litre boasts a short 1.4 second 60 foot time, which is lightning fast. Despite the Botanica mica-coloured sedan's ability to tear up the strip, it's a fully engineered and registered street car capable of cruising through Sydney's horrendous traffic.
Figured the V6, first of all, it had to be different to doing it than a V8.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of kids who are into these, like Nissans and Toyotas and things like that, and they were telling me how good they were, and the old Commodores weren't any good at all. So they were 4s and 6s, so I said, well, if I get a V6 Commodore and muck around with that and get it going just as good, I'll see if I can change their opinion a little bit.
Excellent.
It worked.
Creature comforts come courtesy of VT HSV cloth trim that finds space within a Mood Motorsport built chromoly half roll cage to meet the Andrew specifications that allow the car to continue running such low ETs on our nation's drag strips.
It's obviously a very fast car. What's it like to drive on the street?
Well, when we finish doing this interview, We'll go for a run in it, and then you can determine what it's like on the street. Trying to get parts off the shelf, it's impossible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just lately, there's a few places you can find over in the States that do carry a few parts, but a lot of the stuff has to be custom made.
David Wiltzig's stock stroke V6 once and for all puts to bed the saying only a V6 and is leading the way in Australia's journey to unlock potential within the humble Commodore V6. Now in its third year, the Street Commodores magazine Cruise for Charity is set to tear up the streets in aid of the Starlight Children's Foundation. 2005 saw over 250 Commodores of all shapes and sizes converge upon Sydney, and almost $11,000 was raised for this worthwhile cause. In 2006, the Cruise for Charity is expanding to cover 4 states over 4 weekends, which should see over 1,500 Commodores cruise to raise over $40,000. In addition to that, generous Commodore owners will help us grant wishes to 3 terminally ill children. Come and be part of the biggest Commodore event in history on these dates. There's huge prizes to be won, including products from Harrop, EMS, Forced Induction Technologies, Savage Fiberglass products, Advanced Headers, Turbo Smart, and Auto Technica, to name just a few. So come and be part of history in the making and make life a little easier for Australia's sick kids too.
Our cover car from issue 114 is David Collier's 1985 VK sedan Fun 671. There's much to be said for old school and the immediate impact that can only come from a 671 supercharger protruding high through the bonnet. And despite its super clean appearance, David loves nothing more than to drive the VK hard, as you'll witness in our next DVD release, coming soon.
In its third year of existence, the Street Machine magazine LS1 Drag Nationals once again brought Victoria's Heathcote Dragway to life, with the sights, sounds and smells of the nation's fastest LS1 powered Commodores, all vying for the crown in their numerous respective titles. Attracting owners from all parts of the country, the name of the game in this event is to run personal bests and hope that they're faster than everyone else in your class. Several ex-Street Commodores feature cars were on hand to put their motors where their mouths were, including Nathan Higgins and his black VY Ute that came painfully close to a 9-second pass, with a 10.03 at 143 miles per hour. Incredibly, with a manual gearbox. Also in attendance was Gary Pope and his cover car from issue 105, the Horsepower Factory prepared VXSS Blow 402, minus its blown stroker motor. In its place was a standard stroke 346 cube LS1 that Gary put together to run in the ultra competitive bolt-on class. In this class, Gary ran a best of 11.59 seconds at 121 mile per hour, which is an excellent time for a car with that level of modification. Keep an eye out for Gary's latest HPF joint project, a twin-turbo purpose-built CV8 Monaro drag car coming soon. G&D Performance came with a team of 14 cars, featuring in all 5 finals and winning 4 of them. Fastest ET of the meeting was Tim with his tough SS3 that covered the standing quarter mile in just 10.01 seconds with a nitrous-assisted 402 cube stroker. LS1 Drag Nationals once again proved to be the place to settle the score on such arguments as who was the fastest or who ran the quickest ET, with discussion forums like ls1.com.au and our very own Street Commodores forums rife with heated discussions on the subject quickly extinguished with time slips. Be sure to keep an eye out for information on next year's event.
The Summer Nats Horsepower Heroes competition is as much an institution as the Summer Nats itself. The event has had such a strong influence on the performance car scene, with some builders taking the art of horsepower production to such heights as to see rear-wheel horsepower levels increase from 400 to 1400 horsepower in only 6 or 7 years, all on pump fuel. Former Street Commodores editor Jason Gray was one of the event's first winners, making 404.4 horsepower at the wheels with his cherry black VS GTS blown. He remains the only owner to claim back-to-back wins, returning the next year with 486.9 horsepower. Things have come a long way since then, with pioneers such as Rob Vickery and the late Todd Wilkes breaking new ground with twin-turbo setups. Todd, the first to break 500 horsepower at Summer Nats 13 with his first twin-turbo V8 setup, and Rob breaking the magical 1000 horsepower mark a short 2 years later at Summer Nats 15. Since then, we've seen power figures soar with names such as Brett Wayne and Eddie Tassoni making history with figures like 1376 and 1470 rear-wheel horsepower only a couple of years later. By 2006, neither Brett Wayne nor Eddie Tassoni were in competition, and Rob Vickery was now busy building competitors' Commodores, such as the Car of the Year winning Tryhard of Craig Munro and the ex-cover car Blow 402 of Gary Pope. Craig Munro had been absent from the last two Summer Nats, continuing work on his almost mythical VX Club Sport that boasted much but provided little at Summer Nats 16. Come January 2006, his now completed VX arrived at Epic without its cursed license plates, and speculation was running rife as to whether it would perform. Tryhard's only real competition was Blow 402, that was running Tryhard's old Pro Charger setup that Munro discarded after the failure of Summer Nats 16. Both cars were built in the same workshop and both ran strong numbers in testing prior to the event. What we were to witness at Summer Nats 19 was history in the making. Craig Munro's VX would produce the most power for an LS1 on the Summer Nats dyno, and a host of other strong contenders would run big numbers in their classes, and some would suffer fantastic failures.
A true legend and a true horsepower heroes and a very happy man today.
Held at Victoria's fabled Sandown Raceway, the Eastern Nats is the state's biggest event on the modified car show calendar. Attracting scores of car owners from around the state, the show also pulls in excess of 30,000 horsepower-hungry spectators that lap up everything the show has to offer. Mother Nature was not as kind to the Eastern Nats in 2006 as it was in previous years, with wet weather putting a touch of doom and gloom into the proceedings for some, but it didn't seem to keep anyone away, no doubt due to the fantastic driving events that the show offers drivers and punters alike.
I'm missing you. Yesterday and days before, the sun don't shine here anymore. It's plain to see the way I feel.
Extra safety precautions were taken at this year's event to minimise the risk of damage and injury, no doubt as a result of a nasty smash in the 2003 event that saw two Commodores collide on the front straight. This didn't detract from the uniqueness and spontaneity of the driving events, and everyone in attendance still got to see plenty of tyre frying action. Entrants at the Eastern Nats are able to participate in such events as grudge racing, burnouts, go-to-o, the Stampede, and the ability to cruise around the famous racetrack. The cruising often sees large plumes of tyre smoke billow from various parts of the racetrack as drivers perform spontaneous burnouts and hard launches. With just under 800 entrants and 30,000 spectators on hand over the 3 days, the Easter Nats is one show that you definitely have to get to while visiting south of the border in 2007.
Held at the Rosehill Racecourse for the last 3 years, the Sydney Car Festival is New South Wales' first taste of horsepower heaven each year, and brings together several hundred of the nation's top modified machines under the collective roofs of the famous Sydney horse track. 2006 marked the event's third year, and after poor weather conditions in its first two, this year saw Mother Nature play a little nicer. As a result, plenty of amazing vehicles filled up the venue's two main halls, and Street Commodores was on hand with a trade stand and a solid 10-car lineup of past, present and future feature cars for the crowds to take in and appreciate.
All hail the new trendy town. Our brains are dead, so suck it down. It's kind of different, but still the same. Evolution in a digital age. I'm not impressed with who you are, unless you resemble a superstar. Let's turn our flag and the stars and stripes. We do it's cool in America. We say what we say 'cause it's so cool. We wear what we wear 'cause it's cool in America. We sing what we sing. I gather round what we did today. Red is the new pink, you can't degrade. A far and wide you see advertisements. Sell to the adolescents. Buy plastic food with plastic money. I spent 10 grand on my plastic honey. Do you wonder why I'm so loud? Hey, well, I'm Australian and I'm so damn proud. We do what we do 'cause it's cool in America. We say what we say 'cause it's so cool. We wear what we wear 'cause it's cool in America. We sing what we say 'cause it's cool in America. So cool in America. Cool in America. So cool in America. Do what we do 'cause it's cool in America. We say what we say 'cause it's so cool. We wear what we wear 'cause it's cool in America. We sing what we say 'cause it's cool in America. So cool in America. Cool in America. So cool in America. Do what we do 'cause it's cool in America. We say what we say 'cause it's so cool. We wear what we wear 'cause it's cool in America. We sing what we say 'cause it's cool in America. So cool in America. Cool in
If you're looking for a great show that's close to everything in Sydney, be sure to check this one out in early February 2007.
Yeah, that's the one. Loop that, man. Loop that sample. Bring it back. Yeah, Daz, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. Let's do this. Yeah. This track's all about Dan and his steel pussy whipped. If he told you otherwise, the man is full of shit. He came ill-equipped. All he had was problems. Got stuck with the cold stare like Charles Bronson. But times change, life's strange. He turned the page. At 21, started macking and hit the golden age. And gone was the rage. No longer was he a victim. It seemed a scene, but Dan's vision had been twisted. He seemed different, plus his confidence emerged. And black book listings were constantly on the surge. But he forgot to heed advice on on a lonely night. Got stuck for 9 months and now we're screaming why. Drunk and down on his luck, the man's pride had sunk. Then without a smile, like James Brown without the funk. We hit the